From the KATC Weather Lab, here's Eric's forecast.
Today started off as another hot day with temperatures getting into the lower 90s, but a good bit clouds started to develop during the afternoon, and even a few isolated showers did slide across Acadiana, producing some brief showers, just enough to get the ground wet in many locations, especially from New Iberia up into Lafayette. Areas out to the west, not as much. And we can see, looking across the 48, you can see a good bit of the southeast continues to be on the dry side. Do have some severe storms pushing through central Illinois this afternoon with some severe thunderstorm warnings, and even a couple tornado warnings were issued earlier this afternoon, but it looks like those have all expired. But still some decent rain activity moving through the mid portion of the country. And then back out to the west, we have the snow continuing to fall in the northern portions of Montana, where they've now seen more than a foot of snow going back to when it started late Friday night. So they have definitely been experiencing the cool fall-like weather, but we're still stuck very much in summer across much of the southeast, as high pressure centered pretty much near Atlanta is helping to bring that southeasterly flow. Now that did produce a little bit more moisture today and got at least a few of those isolated showers to move in across the area, mainly over the basin and over towards Baton Rouge, but we had a few move in St. Mary, Iberia up into St. Martin, and even Lafayette Parish. We've seen a few of those, but most of us not seeing a whole lot of rain today, as mentioned, just enough to maybe briefly get the ground wet, but it is quickly drying up, and the grass could use a little bit more of this, but unfortunately it does look like we're heading back to a hot and dry pattern for the week ahead. Zooming in a little bit closer, you can see Breaux Bridge still seeing a decent little light shower this evening just to the south of St. Martinville, and then down closer towards New Iberia has another little shower, so might still get another stray shower over the next couple hours, but I'd say by 7, 8 o'clock most of this activity is coming to an end. Continuing to have our area of high pressure in the upper levels, that is helping to bring drier levels. So that's why the rain hasn't been able to get too heavy today, but just enough to get the ground wet, as I mentioned. And that dry air is keeping the Gulf of Mexico dry. So no tropical systems in the Gulf of Mexico. Even the Caribbean's pretty quiet. Just some showers over Hispaniola up into Cuba. Atlantic's relatively quiet. The only thing we have is Major Hurricane Lorenzo. It didn't get up to Category 5 strength late last night, but as it moves over some cooler waters, starting the weekend a little bit, you can just barely see the eye still in there, not near the convection that we saw late last night. So the winds have decreased about 50 miles down to 115, still hanging on to Cat 3 status, but it quickly should fall down to a Cat 2 by later on and into the early part of next week. We'll make a close pass by the Azores and then eventually head up towards Ireland, and that where it could bring some gusty winds and some showers later on in the week. So high pressure continues to be in control, keeping us on the hot and dry side for much of the week ahead. We do see this one cool front that's going to fall apart, so no real relief with that. Maybe a brief shower possible a couple afternoons, but I think most of us do stay on the dry side. By the weekend, though, that's when things get interesting. The Euro showing the possibility for maybe a tropical wave developing in the Gulf that could send us some shower activity by about Sunday. Also then has a much stronger cold front that looks to maybe move through as we go into early the following week by that Monday, bringing maybe with it some fall-like weather. But again, this is just one model. We'll take a look at the GFS later on tonight at 10 and see if that front really looks possible. So showers out there early, 73 for that overnight low tonight. Back into the low 90s tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. Looking very hot to end out the month of September, and that looks to continue as we move into October for the next 5 days, with temperatures staying in the low 90s, rain chances on the low side, but you do see rain chances come up a little bit by the end of next weekend and into the following week, helping to bring down temperatures a little bit.